Alright, it's January 24th, about 10:40 a.m. And so that's 34 days on my juice cleanse. And I'm just going to start reading something I put together. It's about the cravings. This ties in pretty much to the last video I made. The last video was called Withdrawals, Cravings, and Justifications Defeated by Reasoning. And this has led me to what I wrote now. And yeah, let's get to it. I'll be talking in between as I'm reading it. Alright, so I am dealing with a situation right now. Because of where I am heading now feels so real. The knowledge, the reasons, the intentions to it all. I want to have one last experience consuming food, cooked food. Though I have so many reasons not to, and these reasons even take away my cravings. When I do reflect back, or I have a memory of the last time I ate cooked food, it tasted good and it made me feel good, well, in the moment of consuming. My memory of it was being pleasurable. Now, being on juice for 33 days, and feeling cleaner and better than I ever have in my entire life, I feel that if I eat now, 1, I'll feel the consequences greatly, and 2, my palate isn't fully rejuvenated yet, so I'll still be able to taste some flavor. And so I say that, 1, I feel the consequences greatly, because see, my memory, my experiences with my last meal and all the meals before, it was all satisfying. It was all pleasurable. It was a very pleasuring taste. Even though I have the experience and knowledge on of witnessing the consequences and knowing it did affect me greatly and all, it was still because, well, I'll get to that actually. But, and 2, my palate isn't fully rejuvenated yet, so I'll still be able to taste some flavor. So I say that because, let's say, 100 days into juicing and my palate is fully rejuvenated, and I go to eat, let's say I have, and these are all what ifs, right? But let's say I have a time but see, that would be an emotional attachment. If I was just craving food and I was just like, let me just try it one more time, and I tried it, and yeah, I just couldn't taste it. It tasted nothing the same, and so that experience would be something to dread over, right? Like, it would be like, oh, I'll never get to experience that again. And so just listen to that, and we'll continue on. So I say that the 1 and 2, my 1, I'll feel the consequences greatly, and 2, my palate isn't fully rejuvenated yet, so I'll still be able to taste some flavor. It's like hanging with your ex-girlfriend after the breakup to solidify why you're never going to get back with her. What I'm saying is, after eating this cooked food and I get back on my juicing, anytime a craving comes, it'll be easier to defeat by having my last memory of that cooked food, having my last memory of cooked food not being a memory of major pleasure and satisfaction. My last memories of food are pleasure and satisfaction. Currently, my last memories of food are pleasure and satisfaction. Because I was intoxicated and that was because I was intoxicated at the time. It was my norm. I was at a low frequency. I was at a low vibration. My body was, I was still dealing with all that pain. I was still dealing with, it was my norm. I ate because it tasted good, and so it was just my norm. Every time I ate, every time I had that experience, every time Anytime a memory came to me of food, every time came to me of food, it was always a satisfying thought. It was always a pleasuring thought, because that's how I associated with food. Um, n- Not including the whole emotional attachment and how it numbed my emotional and mental baggage, which I get into with where I'm at now. Now feeling as clean the way I do, and how alive I feel, eating cooked food will be a completely different experience. Yeah, it may taste good, but just not worth the side effects. Yeah, the sex was good, but she's not worth the headache. Yeah, we've had good times, but these good times don't weigh out her bitching and complaining, right? So it's like, that's why, all right, my ex keeps hitting me up. Fine, let's hang out. Let's hang out. And then you get around her, and all the you see you're having a good time, but the way she acts in these narcissistic ways or whatever, or things she calls you out on, like, it just those little things, even though you're having a good time, right? You go out, you guys enjoy kind of the same things. The way she acts on the side, and you're just like, those were things I was blind to before. Those were things I was putting up with, but those were things that were causing me so much stress, and make me angry and upset, and would affect my day and affect my other relationships and affect the way I went about my day. So you immediately go, oh, okay, see, that's why. Even though the sex was good, even though we've had good times, even though she's how we're good partners in the way she makes this amount of money, I make this amount of money, it's just not worth the stress. It's not worth the headache. It's not. So I wonder if you can see kind of what I'm saying, how I'm tying those two together with my experience with cooked food, and which I'll get into my experience with quitting weed. Um, yeah, so, okay, now with all that being said, why? Why jeopardize my progress and my health for something I know the pleasure is momentarily, yet has consequences that'll last for a few days? Why consume something that has brought me so much suffering in my life and turn me into an addict? Something that has kept me from experiences, kept me from opportunities. Because, and for example, I could say, like, all right, let's say I wanted to do a wrestling tournament, but I just had such an addiction to food that I just I and it kept, and because of what food does, it makes you demotivated. You don't you're not on your grind. You're not doing the things that are right and healthy for you, as in working out, things like that, preparing for a tournament. So you end up not signing up for that tournament. So that's just one experience of an opportunity I've missed out on, and in the past. But there's many things. There's many things. Weed too. Weed has kept me from so many opportunities, taken so many opportunities in my life, and taking my performance and my knowledge to the next level, because I had to get high all the time. I had to eat all the time. I needed that pleasure. I needed that satisfaction. I needed that numbing. But I go into how my emotional mental healing it has really broken those addictions. Yeah, so let's go into page number 2. Well, like I said, the experience, the memory of it. This is answering to those two questions. Well, like I said, the experience and meaning of it. But how do you break a habit? By no longer doing it, as well as having a reason why and an intention for not doing so. That's the biggest thing on breaking a habit, is having meaning as to why you're not doing it anymore, and having an intention into the new things, new choices you're making. Having a why. You can't just go, that most people know these things are bad for them, but that's all they know, is like that general thing you hear, that mainstream thing you hear of, like, you'll hear it on the news, oh, drinking alcohol is bad for you, but then they talk about all the bars that are opening up, they propagate it, they market it like crazy, you know. They show that good times are with going out and with your friends, and you know, so it's like you don't have much of a why. And that's why most people go, well, I'm just gonna live it up, you know, my life. I'm just gonna indulge until I die. And because they don't have the knowledge as to, so, and I even said that, even having the knowledge to seeing why you should no longer do something like that anymore. Like I said, I have so many reasons, far more reasons not to do than to do. I have no urge to consume, literally. I mean, I do not, like right now, I just feel so good. I just have no reason to do it other than the one I said. But, like I have no urge to do it. And I'll go into that, how, yeah, I can have a thought about, so this is where I get into it. I can have a thought about it, right? I can have a thought about cooked food, contemplate on that thought, and defeat that urge. And this is the big part. And then not feel like I am lacking or missing out after not falling into it. I don't even have to gaslight myself afterwards to not think about it anymore, as well as to keeping myself from eating. So that's huge, you know, because before anytime I forced myself not to consume what I was addicted to consuming, it took a shit ton of willpower. But it was like, which I go into, I should just keep reading because I go into all of that. Alright, so having zero hunger consuming this juice and feeling optimal helps greatly when cravings approach. I see how much of a drug cooked food is. I've even dealt with withdrawal symptoms like brain fog for a few days in a row. I know that cooked food is not nourishment based on my 33-day experience on juice. Feeling now what true nourishment is. So yeah, I was writing this all on yesterday. Weed was one thing I never thought I'd ever quit in my life. Never thought I'd quit. I was highly dependent. I needed that high. After a while, I realized how much that addiction has messed up my life and how it was continuing to do so, and even how bad it was affecting my health and how shitty I felt when I wasn't high anymore, but because I smoked, like all the way from dry mouth to, I mean, just it was ruining me. The last year I could no longer smoke with anybody except my buddy Grant. I mean, I was getting high anxiety, even when I smoke. Like if I smoke, the only time smoking would calm me if I was by myself. Like I could not be with anybody. I hated being high. So I cold turkeyed one day and never craved it since. Though my buddy, the last 3 times we hung out, I would smoke a blunt with him. The first time it was a couple J's, you know, a couple small J's. The next was a blunt. The second time was a blunt, just one blunt. Then the last time was half a blunt because I just couldn't. I stopped half blunt. I was like, dude, it was just so disgusting to me. And I hated being high because those other 2 times, because those 3 times were over a span of 2 weeks, as he was taking me to my mechanics, helping me drive my car back and forth, such like that. And those were the last 3 times we hung out, and before he went off to Colorado, and we'd smoke, and that was it. I wouldn't even come back home and pack a bong, pack a bowl, roll a J, nothing. I had no desire to smoke anymore. I actually was like, man, it just made me so lazy. I would end up just putting a movie on and passing out and eating, I'm sure too. But I just hated how much brain fog it gave me. I hated how much just not being right in my mind. And yeah, so those first 2 times I smoked with him, it was like it wasn't like I smoked the day after, nothing. The only times I smoked, those 3 times on that time from the time I cold turkeyed, I only smoked 3 times, and those were the only 3 times was with him. And when I got home, didn't smoke at all. The next day, didn't smoke at all until I hung out with him again. Then I smoked that one blunt, and that was it. I couldn't do anymore. I didn't want to do anymore. I didn't even want to do it in the first place. And then that half a blunt, I told him, I was like, dude, I can't. It's just like, now it's just disgusting me. Now it's just completely fucking gross, and I want no parts in it. So I wrote, I became so disgusted and realized I had zero interest for it. This helped me solidify my reason to never smoke again, even when hanging out with my buddy. So I see this can happen with trying cooked food again. Like I said, this new life just seems so real now, and is exactly what I want. That though I'll be participating in an old, not yet destructed habit, it'll be for the better. It'll jumpstart me on my path. Not necessarily jumpstart, as I'm already jumpstarted onto my path. Rather, aid me on my progression on my path I am on. I am. It's part of the experience of my growth. You know, like I said, it'll be now. Now that I'm 34 days clean, I'll be 30, because I'm planning on eating on Monday. I'll be 35 days into my juicing, and the experience I've had on this juicing is something I've never experienced before, a state of being, a health I've never experienced before. So eating, even if I eat and it tastes good, the consequences, it's not going to be worth it, you know? Yeah, it tastes good, but it's not worth what it does to my body. It's not worth how it affects me. And it's like, okay, why can't I just accept that now and just continue on, right? Which I'll go into. But yeah, it's like, I got all the reasoning, I got all the knowledge, all right? It's like, just decide. But that's what I'm saying. It's because the memory is such a neural connection. It's like it's a memory is deep, you know? And so having that memory, you could say it's like the part in the Matrix where the one bald head guy is reasoning with one of the Matrix guys at the restaurant. He's like, man, if I could just taste this steak again, if you can get me to taste this steak again, I'll come right back. And that's what I'm saying about my palate being rejuvenated. And the problem with my palate being rejuvenated and my last memory being of food being just satisfying and pleasurable experience. Because what if at one point, which it's a what if, right? It's a what if. But what if there's a point in time where I'm just like, man, if I could just taste that food again, because of, and because, like I said, it was satisfying and it tasted good, and not only that, it didn't affect me. And the reason why I say it didn't affect me was because I was already so damaged. So now, if I eat on this 35th day, I will feel the damage to such a great extent that, yeah, it may taste good, but it is just not. It's like smoking weed. Yeah, you know, getting the feelings in the body, you know, it feels nice, but man, the brain fog isn't nice. The dry mouth, the grit on the teeth, the things it makes you do as an indulge, and makes you just want to search for comfort and just be lazy and just justify all the way. Have all the justifications to not do the hard thing, and you know, it's just not worth it. Yeah, the high is nice, but it's just not worth what it does to me. So then I continued this writing this morning. First thought when I woke up this morning was, man, I'm not going to feel like this probably for a week or so after eating this cooked meal. And so I'm saying I won't feel like this. Like when I woke up this morning, when I've been waking up every day these past 34 days, energy, ready to go. I mean, like I said in my past videos, it feels like I just changed the fluid in my body. I just changed the oil in my car or the trans fluid in my car. But instead of just changing the fluid, I got a valued, higher technology brand. And not only did I get that higher technology, higher valued brand, but I mixed it with a cleaner too, so it stays clean. It doesn't get dirty. And yeah, so that's literally what I feel like. Like, it's mind blowing. And I go into that later too. So all the detoxing I've went through, the detox I'm still going through, is going to come to a halt. I still think this is something I need to do for my growth. That may sound weak by me trying to justify, but like I said, with having this experience can help me on this journey. It has hard it has it was hard before, seeing how destructive cooked food was. It was hard before, because of my lens, to see how destructive cooked food was, because it was my norm. My state of being and health was already shit. Now, with this experience of 34 days on juice, it's going to be a totally different experience eating this cooked concoction, right? I can tell I've healed a lot of my emotional attachment to food by the way I can defeat a craving and not deal with the feeling of lack or missing out after not doing it. So that's, like I said earlier, and I'm gonna continue. Unlike when I would fast and or get on some type of diet before I started healing of my emotional trauma, before I still started healing any of my mental dissonance and baggage, before I started healing any mental and emotional baggage, and I tried to fast and I'd try to get on some diet. Once that first craving of the day came, it would be a battle. I mean, a fucking battle, all the way till I passed out that night, to not succumb to my desires. Like, I would stay, it would be a battle the entire fucking day. As soon as that first craving came in, I mean, I did everything in my willpower not to do it, and I would feel sick. I would feel like I was lacking. I would feel ill if I didn't do it. And then it would come to nighttime, and I would be rolling around in my bed for the next 2-3 hours, like, oh my gosh, should I do it? Like, just driving myself nuts. And so, I mean, it's a major difference. Now, this entire juice cleanse, because I just feel so alive and so much energy, and this health, this state of being that's at a height it's never been at before, that I've gotten to experience. It's oh shit, where was I going with that? It's just gonna be a total different experience consuming this cooked concoction, right? Fuck, where was I going with that? But anytime a craving would come during this juice, I could reason immediately with it and kick it out the door. And it wasn't like as soon as I reasoned with it, realized I had the knowledge as to why, I had my intention, I had the meaning behind why I'm no longer doing that and why I'm doing this now. It was just so strong and so sure. It was a knowing. It wasn't a belief. It wasn't a hope. It was a knowing. It was a trust. And so it would, as soon as I'd kick that craving, that was it. I didn't feel lack afterwards. I didn't feel ill afterwards. It wasn't repeating and coming back afterwards. I mean, yeah, the cravings came and went, but it wasn't like before where I like would kick that craving, but it was still there, you know, it would still just eat me the fuck up. But now it's like, I just kick it. Like this morning, I mean, I have no desire for this cooked meal, but I'm really thinking that having a last memory, instead of my last memory being it tasted good, it's pleasurable, and it didn't make me feel like shit, well, now it's because before, when I was so hurt and everything, and I did, and that was what I ate all the time, and it tasted good, and not only was it satisfying, but it did make me feel good. It uplifted my mood. Like I really, there were so many times in my life after graduating, and like when I would fall back into my habits of eating whatever and stuff, and be on that for a couple weeks or a couple months, and I'd just be like, man, I would probably just be happier in my life just getting up to 400 pounds. Like if I could just eat the rest of my life, I would just be totally satisfied. Like that was literally how food made me. It just, so that is my last memory with food, you know. um but yeah, so I it's like I feel like because I wake up at 4 in the morning and I'm just ready to go. I got to the gym by 6:30 because I was writing this, and then I watched some Joe Dispenza, taking some notes, and was gonna go back to sleep, but my body just wanted to move, so I was like, fuck, let's go to the gym. Was at the gym for 3 hours, including my sauna time and showering time, you know. So and I'm just there, I'm like, dude, if I mean, I'm just feeling so good, so optimal. Like why consume? And it's like, I want to make my last memory with it. Yes, it tastes good, but it's just not fucking worth the experience. And you know, yeah. So I do see a major advancement there with my emotional healing, my emotional attachment to food. It really is that memory of how pleasurable food tasted, and not being able to witness the degree of which how it actually affected me at that time so when I was already at a shitty state of being. I'm not totally denying an emotion could be tied to it still, but rather it being emotionally, it could more be a program or a habit that is just, it's still wired in my brain, that still isn't destructed yet. Um, or it could be parasites, or actually it could be um, the mucoid plaque, which is still not, you know, I know I still have that 20-pound cesspool in my intestines. I haven't shit out anything rubberized yet. I haven't shit out any mucoid looking plaque stuff. So I know that shit is still sitting in my colon and in my intestines. So that could be what's like, come on, let's it could be it's still, that identity is still a part of me, of eating cooked food, you know. So because you are what you eat, and you crave what you're made of, you know, which we've accumulated, we've acquired new necessities that aren't necessities in our when we're whole, when we're healed. But we've acquired these necessities through daily enforcement on our body, you know, daily acquiring this habit daily, multiple times a day, you know. So it's a part of me, you know. So yeah, I think it's mucoid plaque trying to make that's calling for it. Like how the parasites, they're like, come on, give us some sugar, give us some oils, give us something, you know, to eat off of. So yeah, you know, so rather it being an emotional attachment thing, it's a program, it's a habit, it's not me. I mean, it's probably not even my brain, like, because because of all my reasoning and all my knowledge of where I'm at now and what I know and how real I see, honestly I see these things, and I see reality. It's like, it's not even my brain, so it must just be that dissonance in my gut with the mucoid plaque and possibly parasites still in there, that they're a separate entity from me. So but because they're inside me, they're like, you know, because that's what they want, it's sending that signal that that's what I want, right? That's what I want. So that's what I could be dealing with, which it's like, how do you fully knock that out? You fully get that shit out of you, and then you just wouldn't crave it. But would I still have that memory of, well, you know, that food did taste good, it was pleasurable, right? So it's like, you know, that's my only justification for this, is my last memory with it, my last experience with it. Um, it's like hanging out with your ex one last time just to remember why, because you and your ex break up in an instant on a dramatic experience, and then you guys split your ways, but you're like, man, I kind of miss her, I do miss those times. And then y'all, like, she hits you back up out of the blue, y'all hang out again for one time, and then you're like, oh, this is why. Nope, I see why we're not together anymore. I see why we broke up in the first place. Okay. Yep. I know I'm not eating for nutrition or minerals. That's a program totally that's diminished, that has totally been destructed. So I don't have that type of mindset when eating cooked and processed food. I know it's literally an addiction to taste and texture, to that feeling of pleasure I would get from it. I guess that high. All right, now my last page. It's literally going to be and this is what I'm saying, it's literally going to be a one-day experience. I'm not going to be eating food. It's not like it's going to wrap me back in and make me eat for 7 days, 2 weeks straight of just cooked food, because oh my god, now I'm indulging back into it. No, that is not going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. With where I'm at, that is fucking not gonna happen. And if I see my body craving that and wanting to do that, I'm just at that intelligence now. I'm at that knowing now, where I can trust myself to do something like this, because I know it's not gonna wrap me back in. I know I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna eat this meal and be like, man, maybe I should just stop doing what I was doing and just live this way of just how everybody else does, and just enjoy the pleasures of life until I die. That's so far out there. That is not gonna happen. Yeah. And so then, I was like, literally, it's just gonna be one day. Really, not even one day. It's gonna be a few hours of a day, because I'll be working Monday. Because that's why I chose Monday, because I have Tuesday and Wednesday off. And so I was thinking, right after work Monday, get off at 12, and eat a cooked meal. And I'm only gonna eat for a few hours, and not like a few hours straight. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm definitely gonna eat very slow. When I take a bite, I'm gonna eat that bite fully. I'm gonna digest as much in my mouth as I can before I swallow it, turn it into a liquid as much as I can before I swallow it. I'm gonna have total self-control. And who knows how much I eat. If I can even eat that much, it might make me too sick. I can't even eat that much. Or I might go on a binge. But either way, if I go on a binge, good, because that's really going to fuck me up. If I eat one bowl of something and I can't even eat, because it's just, that'll be an interesting experience. That'll be a good experience. So, yeah. So I wrote reasons to continue cultivating and not eating this cooked meal. 1, I feel I am at a point in my detox where I'm starting to empty out that cesspool. I've secreted all the more recent meals that are loosened up. They haven't rubberized. They're the most recent meals. So like, the loosened up stuff, the stuff that was easy to break down and get rid of first, unlike the stuff that has accumulated for 20 years, the stuff that has been in there since I was 5 years old, that's fucking probably rock solid, so rubbery and attached to my intestinal walls that it takes a deeper detox for that to happen. So it got the gunk off. I'm at the stage where all the gunk that is on top of that has come off, and now I'm hitting that stuff. And now I'm breaking up and excreting all that rubberized plaque. That's literally where I feel I'm at. The shits I've been taking the past couple days, I've been a lot more solid, and I'm not dealing with that constipated feeling anymore. It's But yeah, these shits, it feels like back when I used to eat every day, and I would have these weird these very solid shits, and not much would feel like it came out, but I looked down and a bunch came out. A big old solid shit came out. And you know, that I haven't had solid long shits like that. You know, I've had solid shits, but they've been like broken up or in pieces and things like that. And but these are like solid ass shits, like when I used to eat. And I would, you know, that I think that's a normal shit for a normie in this society, is a long solid turd. So yeah, I've been having those. So it's like, okay, I must be excreting some shit now, some deeper stuff. So today is January 7th. This morning I weighed 136 pounds, 19 pounds less than when I started 34 days ago on my juice cleanse. I started out 155, today I was 136. That is almost 20 pounds in 34 fucking days for a lean ass motherfucking person. Someone who had no reason to do something like this. I mean, I had no major health issues to where I was medicated, to where I was going to the hospital regularly, seeing a doctor regularly, to where, I mean, I was, even though I felt so sick and so miserable and so confused, people would look at me and be like, wow, you're very healthy. Wow, I wish I was in as great a shape as you, because I could still move around, I could still hop and jump and flip and do all that shit. I could, you know, and that's the thing. People think because you can walk around and just because you're lean, you're healthy. No, that is not the fucking case. Number two, I feel great. My energy is high with 0 crashes. Like somebody said to me at work, isn't that a lot of sugar? I'll tell you what, you get on this sugar versus ultra processed sugar, fucking man-made sugar, that gives you crashes. This, you can drink this sugar all fucking day and you have no fucking crash. That's how you know this sugar is good, because I've been on it for 34 days and not one day have I experienced a crash. My energy has just gotten up. My state of being has just been going up. My health has just been clearing up and getting better. I mean, I'm not dealing with any crashes. I'm not having to take midday naps or nothing like that. I feel great. My energy is high with 0 crashes. I don't have to force myself to be active. There's another thing. It's to be active, it's no longer feels like a duty I force myself to do. As soon as I wake up, my body wants to move and my mind is ready. That's what I'm saying. Back when for years, even when I was an athlete, I forced myself. I had to remind myself, like, oh, I want to be a state champion. That's why I have to get up and go. I want to look good for the girls. I need a sexy physique. I gotta get up and go. Oh, I can't be a skinny fuck. Oh, I can't be out of shape fuck. Oh, I gotta get up and go. But it felt like a duty. I did not enjoy all the times I worked out. I enjoyed working out. Yeah, it was something I enjoyed doing, but it started getting to the point where it totally flipped, and it just felt like a fucking duty, a job that I would just force my ego forced me to do. And now, because I have a totally different intention behind my workouts, it's no longer for a vanity thing. I have no care for my physique. I care about my performance. I care about my health. I care about my vitality. I care about, like I said, my performance, my capabilities. You know, that's what I'm focused on. And so it's a total different intention, and I have fun. Like, I've had the most fun working out since I got my gym membership. I think December 26th or 27th. I've had the most fun than I've had working out than I can remember. Probably not since back when I was a kid. I'd say middle school and going into high school, when I would wrestle, and I had so much fun then wrestling. Because eventually, when I had to start cutting weight for wrestling, that's when I started hating wrestling, and it started feeling like a duty and such. And yeah, so like I said, I no longer have to force myself to be active. That's just how great I feel. That's how much energy I have. And so yeah, number 3, consequences if I eat. My healing slows down. It comes to a halt, because now my healing, my body is no longer focused on, because it's gotten through all the junk and, like I said, all that loosened up stuff, all the muck. Now I can hit those deeper issues. But now, because I'm putting gunk and stuff back in, I'll be doing that. Now my body has to revert. Now it has to shift focus onto the incoming toxins. And now, like they say, when you eat, 70% of your energy now has to focus on digestion. So yeah, now my healing goes from, it slows down and is now focused on new toxins and digestion. So yep, that's one thing. Heavy feeling in my stomach. Won't be able to work out to the intensity I have been since I started juicing. Brain fog. As soon as I eat, I can't think as deeply. Yeah, I just can't think as deeply. There's too much stuff in the way. There's not a clear connection, and so and plus it's toxins, it's poison, so it fogs up your mind. Detox symptoms that I'll deal with, such as oily skin, because as soon as eating that stuff, oil's gonna start coming out. So my face is probably not gonna feel as smooth. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. My body could just zap right through that shit. Who knows? I'm not sure. Or I could deal with symptoms for a week to 2 weeks. It could feel like I'm restarting the whole detox again. Mucus will be coming out. I'll probably wake up with a stuffed up nose. I'll probably have boogers all in here. I haven't experienced any boogers in here. One thing I haven't said in my update videos, the mucus I have been dealing with has been like way back here, very sticky, very mucky. Like I've had to hack it up and spit it out of my mouth. It'll feel like my nose is clogged, but it's like way back here. Very interesting. Smelly body odor. That, because all that food's going to start working straight out, and because my body is working a little more optimally and things aren't as clogged up, this food is probably going to run through me. Uncomfortable sweats whenever my body starts getting hot from working or being active. Yeah, like when I'd eat whatever I want, I start sweating, like my skin would feel like it was getting inflamed and like itchy, and I haven't dealt with that since being on juice. I did for the first few days just because of detoxing so much of those toxins. But probably after like day 5, day 7, and just, yeah, so for the past like 20 some days, when I start getting hot and sweaty, it doesn't feel gross, doesn't feel sticky. It literally feels like water coming out of me. I'll be upset at myself, so the emotions, because now I have to slow down since I won't be as energetic. It's not that I should not beat myself up. It's a learning experience, but at the same time, I'm just gonna like, fuck, man, why'd I do that? Like, there was no but this is my intention to doing it, because I want my last memory to be exactly that. To solidify why I'm not fucking ever going back to cooked food, and why I'm full throttling into the direction of the new life I want to live. I have so my next reason is I have a wrestling tournament coming up March 16th. It'd be great to be 90, 100 plus days in and going into because my weight will be so low. Like I said, I'm 136 now. I didn't know what weight I was going to be. I was thinking I was going to have to sign for 145 or 140 at the least. And now I'm at 136. It's like, man, if I continue on with this, I could probably be wrestling 130. And if I still have 15, 20 pounds of plaque that's just going to shit out of me on day 90, I could, let's say 20 pounds. Let's say I have 20 pounds in there. Shit, that's like 115 pounds. But let's say I'm like 120. I mean, I could be wrestling 120 by the time my tournament comes up. So that's something. But I shouldn't focus on winning for that tournament. That's not what that's about. I haven't wrestled in years. This is just to it's just so much fun, you know, and I just want to see where I'm at. So yeah, even like I said though, with this food, because I did the math too. March 16th, there's 28 days in January. It'll be, what's today? Today's the 8th, so minus 9 days of 31 days in January. That's wait, no, it's today's the 7th. Yeah, today's the 7th, so tomorrow will be the 8th. So that'll be 23 days left in January, 28 days left in February, so that's 51 days, and then 16 days to my tournament. 51 days, 60, 61, 67, so I'll be 67 days back into my juice cleanse. And I'll at least have 60 days before I have to choose a weight class I want to wrestle in. And like I said, I really don't think eating this meal is gonna keep me too far from hitting that mucoid plaque again. Like, I think it'll, if the longest, it'll be like 2 weeks dealing with that shit, which is a long fucking time, but still, be able to get right back into breaking down that shit. I mean, I could, who knows? Yeah, I know, it sounds like justification, right? Not the reason. So yeah, I had that wrestling tournament coming up, my first wrestling tournament in probably 5 years. 6 years probably, actually. Cooked food is toxic and a drug. It is inorganic for the body to process cooked food. It is something we are never ever even supposed to experience. Because cooking your food creates hundreds to, just for one thing like a potato or broccoli, creates over hundreds. I mean, this is scientifically studied, from what a broccoli naturally is in its natural raw state to when you cook it, and it creates 400 plus different molecules, chemical reactions, to where it's molecules you would never experience unless you heated something up, unless you cooked something. So it's like cooking crack and cocaine, or cooking crack and crystal and shit like that. It's because you wouldn't eat the crack the way it is, but if you heat it up and you hit it like that, that's how you get the effects you want. You know, that's how it is with food. You want to get a certain high, you have to heat the food up like this. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I eat, it will not get me to continue. I know if I eat, it will not get me to continue to process. Oh, I don't know. I know if I eat. Oh, okay. I read the same line. I know if I eat, it will not get me to continue days straight. Even that doesn't make sense. I know if I eat, it will not get me to continue days straight. As of my knowledge and where I stand with it. Oh, I know if I eat, that's what I'm saying. I know if I eat, like I said, it's not like I'm going to continue eating for 7 days straight. That's what I'm saying here. I know if I eat, it will not get me to continue doing that for days straight. As of my knowledge and where I stand with it, if it makes me want to continue eating after that day or crave for it more than I know, then I will know there are things I need to dig deeper into, as that is an issue. If I start like just after I have that cooked meal and like that's all I can think about now and this and that, I'll be like, oh shit, you know, no, there probably is an emotional thing I need to face. And yeah, so you know how I'm saying, this can really open me up to where I'm at now, especially with my emotional mental baggage and my emotional attachment to food. I say that because even if it is tasty, it is not going to sit well with my body. There's no way I can feel the way I do now on juice on a cooked food diet. There's no way I could sustain this state of being on a cooked food diet. There's just no way. There are so many little daily issues we have, even that I had, that I thought was normal, that we will never notice until going on a solid food vacation. Seriously, I mean, little ailments, little pains in my body, little inflammation like in my elbows and shit that I used to have, little like the mucus in the eyes when I'd wake up. Like, I don't get that in the morning. I don't have mucus in my eyes when I wake up. And like, just so many little things, even the brain fog, even like, just so many things that we just see are normal, or just things we're gonna have to deal with the rest of our lives. We just think it's part of my biology, my biology I was born with, you know. These are things I'm just gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. Even like headaches, like, oh, I'm just gonna have to do. But man, you won't notice those are caused from the toxins and the poisons we've been putting in our bodies every single fucking day, multiple times a fucking day, being emotionally attached to it. Even, you know, we won't notice that all these, we don't even realize how many pains and stuff we have going on until we get off of the shit that's keeping us on. So yeah, that's everything I wrote. That's where I'm at with it now. I really, you know, by the time I got home today after the gym, I was like, dude, I don't want to eat tomorrow. Like, I just feel so good right now. But at the same time, I'm just like, the memory part, just let's solidify this. Let this be an experiment, you know. Let it be an experiment. All right, fuck it. I have so much trust. I trust myself that I'm not gonna be an addict again. I'm not gonna get wrapped back up into it again. I'm not gonna. It's gonna teach me. You know, it's really gonna show me. And so I really think I'm gonna do it now. I wasn't feeling like that before the video, but now that I'm thinking about it, and after reading all that, I think I'm gonna do that. I have a lot of trust in myself, and my knowledge has come so far. My awareness has come so far. My honesty has come so far that I just know where I'm headed in life. So let tomorrow be kind of like a celebration to a new life. Because seriously, tomorrow will probably be my last cooked meal ever again. It really, I honestly see that. And yeah. One thing I want to add to this too was, all right, now with like the things I'm learning of Joe Dispenza, and how, you know, the hardest thing about changing is not making the same choices that you're used to making. And that's really the hardest thing about change. And so that comes into my mind, like, you know, it's a belief, it's a construct that I just need to break, you know. And I already know, like, I have all this knowledge as to how toxic and shit that it is. But what I'm saying is, even though I have that knowledge, I need that experience. I haven't had that experience while being clean and eating a cooked meal. So you know, because like I said, my memory on it is satisfying. It was pleasurable. And not only that, because of how much I was broken, how much I was damaged before those things, it would literally make me feel happier. I would notice, like, the harder I tried abstaining from it, it would make me angry. It would make me upset. It would hurt me. But I know, because I had emotional and mental baggage I had to deal with, but I didn't know that at the time. But anyways, and as soon as I'd go to eat, or as soon as I had the thought, as soon as I knew I was about to eat, my mood uplifted. I was so happy. I was a new man. I was a rejuvenated man. And then when I did eat, oh my God, it was like, I love life, right? So that is my memory on it. And, you know, but I know that state of being I felt when I would eat, and I felt like that great, right? Does not compare to the state of being I feel being on this juice. Like, this juice totally trumps that fucking experience. So yeah, it's Sorry, somebody started walking and kind of caught my attention. So yeah, that having this experience, I think, is really gonna uh, blast me forward in my growth. Um, Really make me stronger in my mind, and give me that knowing, give me that solidified knowing as to why I'm doing what I'm doing and such. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, so that's where I'm at, man. But yeah, like what I was saying with Joe Dispenza, like just totally creating a new reality, and create it's not about fighting the old, but creating a new, to live that new lifestyle, to acquire that new state of being. So yeah, I don't know. That's I really was thinking, I could just willpower through this and such, but it's that memory, it's that memory of how it was. Um, but even, I could just be justifying. I really could, but you know what? Fuck it. I same fucking now. Everything could change tomorrow. I could just be like, no, I am just gonna. Maybe I just need to get this plaque and parasites out of me, and as soon as I get that out of me, because of my knowing and such, there would be no. I just know not to. I know it tastes good, right? But I know there's just so many consequences that come with it. It's like I already know that. Why do I have to experience it? But it's like those things I've heard of, telling a teenager you can give them all the life lessons, but they're gonna want to wreck themselves until they gotta experience before they learn. And it's like, maybe I just need that experience, and I think that's just what it is. um, so yeah, you can tell I've been thinking a lot about this. It hasn't been mentally draining me or nothing. I've been enjoying having to really contemplate hard on something, and really dig into this. Um, but it hasn't made my cravings any worse or nothing. Like, I still feel great throughout the day. I defeat the craving in the moment, because I'm like, I told when I made the video a few days ago, and I was having the cravings from days, like weeks ago, a week ago, um, you know, or when I think it was like 5 days ago, when I told myself, I was like, if I do eat, it's gonna be on a fucking Monday. And so I was like, don't even think about it now. And see, before, if I did that to myself, if I knew I was gonna go to do this, if, like, me and my mom, we would talk about going to a Brazilian steakhouse, right? Like 2 days from now, or the next day, I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I mean, I I was so I had such a major urge to go to that Brazilian steakhouse. I would eat so much before even going. I would eat so much that night to just get me to stop thinking about it. And even if we weren't going until nighttime, dude, that would fuck me, because I was like, oh my god, I would eat all day. And then by the time, but see, I was a machine when it came to eating. I mean, it surprised me how I didn't even reach 250 pounds. I'm surprised I'm not a 400-pound man at 25 years old, because I mean, I'm half Hispanic, and that side of my family, they eat big. Hispanics eat big. They love eating. And when they would see me eat, they're like, holy fuck. Like, they would praise me on how much I could eat. They would have me in contest with them on who could eat we'd go to CC's, who could eat the most pizzas, and I'd be fucking eating 20 plus slices of pizza before I was even a teenager. So, like, I mean, it's just, I fucking, and that was before I was a teenager, right? Eating over 20 slices of pizza plus dessert. It's like, dude, imagine how much I've eaten at 20 years old, and I'm 25 now, and like, I mean, it's insane the amount of food I've been able to put down in my mouth in one setting. I could eat so much before a Brazilian steakhouse, go to an all-you-can-eat Brazilian steakhouse, and the family would be waiting on me to finish, and we'd be there for 3 hours, 4 hours. I mean, dude, I'm just, it's, so so tying it back, how I told myself, look, you're not eating till Monday. That would drive me fucking nuts, especially 5 fucking days and not having eaten cooked food in a long time. 30, only 34 days, but still. that would drive me fucking nuts. That would keep me up. That would, I mean, but it hasn't, because I'm just at a complete different mindset. It's amazing. I see how much I've healed emotionally and mentally. I see how much I've healed, and I see how powerful eating the right things like juicing is just optimal, because I have not it hasn't kept me up. It hasn't messed with my mood. You know, I mean, yeah, it's really mind blowing. So, give me your thoughts on this. You know, go in the comments and give me your thoughts on how what you would suggest. Because I mean, I feel like this reasoning, it just feels more than a justification now. Like, it feels like I'm really just experimenting and experiencing. It no longer feels like I'm justifying in the case because I have an emotional attachment, so therefore I need to have this hit. You know, it's really not like that, because I really don't fucking want it. You know, I really don't want it at all. It just, and so I feel like I'm more doing this for my growth, you know, for the experience, to experiment. You know, you know, justifying is, the reason why you justify is because you really want what you are not supposed to have. You're really trying to seem right when you're completely wrong, you know. So, and at first it felt like I was doing that, you know, which I was, I think, and but now it's just like I see where I'm at with it. So yeah, that's the video. Appreciate y'all listening. Please leave a comment. Tell me what your thoughts are. And yeah, enjoy.